What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be checking out the 2026 Nissan Frontier. This one is a Pro4X finished off in red alert with an MSRP around $46,000. So is this the best way to go for a mid-size truck given it's kind of just simple? We have a normal V6 engine. It's just a basic truck without breaking the bank. A lot of the trucks now are just going crazy in price where you got to spend like 65 grand to get a nice one. So this truck really not all too expensive. So underneath the hood, something that people absolutely love is the engine. So this is just a 3.8 liter naturally aspirated V6 with 310 horsepower and 281 pound-feet of torque. It's got a 9-speed automatic transmission, a 4-wheel drive system. Curb weight is 4,900 pounds. Payload is 1,200. Max towing is 6,700 pounds. And with a 21.1 gallon fuel tank, you're looking at 16 in the city with 20 miles per gallon out on the highway. So moving on to styling for 2026, nothing really all too new from the previous year. You have a nice design overall. I like the headlights with the daytime running lights, the LED design, and then you're gonna get this kind of gray metallic color for the grille. Got some silver trim, forward-facing camera, active grille shutters in back, as well as just the orange accents. You're gonna see some silver trim, a nice metal skid plate, and then your recovery hooks. There's also LED fog lights and some nice trim throughout it. So it's a good looking truck overall, especially in the red color. I don't really see many in red. You have some sharp body lines throughout the hood, and then at the side profile, I really like these 17-inch wheels. Finished off in a gunmetal gray color with the orange accents, and then we have an off-road hand-cooked tire. You got a plastic fender with a reflector on it. There's Bilstein shocks as well. Nice set of mud flaps, and then just some smooth lines throughout the doors. We're gonna get body colored mirror caps, body colored door handles, and then all black trim throughout the windows. For the side profile, we got the shorter bed with a full crew cab, so it's very proportional with a good look overall. There's leaf springs in the back, and then we have some sharp lines for the bedside. Got your Pro4X badge, mud flaps, a black exhaust tip, and then parking sensors throughout the rear bumper. You're gonna get the red color, finished in plastic, and then more just the plastic black material. Trailer hitch in all those settings, and then you can see a really cool trim piece on that tailgate. You got your Pro4X badge, backup camera, Frontier stamped into the bed, and then we have some nice texture up above. For the actual bed now, we have somewhat of a soft open, and then a spray and bed liner. There's some tie hooks all around, and then we have a rail throughout it for extra accessories. Tailgate doesn't weigh all too much, pretty easy to go ahead and close. So yeah, overall styling not too bad. Get your fuel cap on this side, and then making my way to the back seats. This one has the basic interior with cloth. You can get leather as well. And then we're gonna get some padded soft touch material on the door panel, nice padded armrest. And then in back, we can pull this lever and lift the base up. Same for the other side. You're gonna get a nice cargo cubby, and then there's another one on this side that's very large. And then there's a strap in the back we can pull. These seats will fold if you pop the headrest out. And then there's a nice bit of storage all back here. Going ahead and closing that. Now, one of the downfalls with the Frontier is the back seats are pretty cramped. They might fit a car seat decently, and maybe little kids aren't too bad. But as an adult, my legs are very high up, the seats are very low. Legroom's actually not that bad. You just kind of feel like you're sitting on the ground. There's not too many amenities. If you pull this out, we have an armrest with cup holders, and you just have a couple plugs and storage. The backrest is also really straight up, so again, it's just not that comfortable, but in a pinch, it's fine, and for storage or little kids, it's not gonna be a bad deal. A little tight getting my feet even out. But hopping onto the front seat, we have a button on the door handle to lock and unlock it. And then you can see your basic controls, the same padding and soft touch materials. There's power controls for both front seats. And then you have that smooth fabric with all the contrast stitching. Got a cool texture throughout it with Pro4X. And then a black leather wrapped steering wheel. And then keep my foot on the brake and go and fire it up. All the screens are gonna turn on. Got a nice little gauge sweep and an animation in the center. For the steering wheel, we have some audio controls on the left side. You also have cruise control on the right. And then we have some information up on the screen, so you can easily swipe left and right and see all sorts of different information. So you got kind of a mix of digital and analog, which is a nice touch. Stock on the right side is for all the windshield wipers, stock on the left for turn signal and headlights. We have a tow mode down here, a locking differential, traction control, interior dimming, and then just a little bit of hard plastic up above on the dash. There's a storage bin. We have some soft touch material with contrast stitching, a nice bucket for the glove box, And then in the center, this is the updated screen. However, the software isn't really up to date. So you still have basically the old screen with not really much information on the right side, which is kind of an interesting design. Not sure why they didn't just give this the whole new software. And then we have shortcuts down below that you can easily go through. Display, you can make adjustments. And then for camera, it's a little fuzzy. So not really the greatest camera. Again, I don't know why they didn't utilize the whole screen for 90% of what you can do. I believe CarPlay will be full screen, but again, wouldn't mind them integrating that a little bit better. Got your Frontier name written out. 4-wheel drive is down below. There's dual zone climate control with all of your basic controls, heated seats and steering wheel, extra storage down below with your 2 little grab handles. I like the soft touch and the stitching, which is a cool touch. Now, if I go ahead and put it into 4 high, we can now play with our drive mode. So nice little pad down here versus what it used to be. If I tap any of these, you're gonna see that popping up on the screen. So pretty nice design. I think it's a pretty cool integration. You just have to be in 4-wheel drive. Going back to 2-wheel drive, they will not work. So as you can tell, when I hit it, it says unavailable. And then we do have the downhill assist that you can tap on and off. You have cup holders and wireless charging in the center, and then some nice padding with your armrest, contrast stitching, storage all down below. And then one last look at the interior. Basically unchanged from 2025, aside from the new dial down below. But it's just a simple, basic truck. Really can't complain if you want something affordable and cool at the same time. Got a sunglass holder and then a basic manual mirror. All right, so setting off now in the Frontier. So of course with the 360 camera view, you get a decent look around. Very kind of pixelated images, I would say though, so could be more HD. Getting up to some speed, just light throttle. One thing that everyone is going to love with the Frontier is the fact that we just have a simple engine, a V6. Obviously, most of the competition is a 4-cylinder now, so it is nice to just have a simple, robust engine that you can just drive and not really worry about. So it's a good old school power plant with this truck. Overall ride quality in the Pro4X with those Bilstein shocks, it seems pretty smooth overall. It's not really all too harsh, it absorbs the bumps pretty well. You have a really nice view around, mirrors do a great job over your right and left shoulder. I mean, really easy view around. It's a very open feeling truck. The seats are a little on the stiff side and they do feel a little small. This isn't the most roomy mid-sized truck out there, so it does feel a little tight compared to others. But overall, you know, I'm sitting here comfortably and really can't complain. Got the nice leather on the steering wheel, which is a nice touch to it. So one complaint I've had with the Frontier is the steering is pretty heavy. However, it actually feels a little lighter on this 2026 model year than I remember on others. Now the turning circle still isn't the greatest. I feel like you end up overshooting some turns sometimes just because you can't turn the wheel that many turns. So that is just one thing for being a small mid-sized truck. Like, I wish I could turn the steering wheel a couple more angles. So that's just one complaint. It's a little bit harder to park this due to the steering circle isn't as tight as the competition. So not a big complaint, just something to notice when you're pulling into parking spaces. You might have to plan it out a little bit better so you don't overshoot it. But it seems like a nice truck to drive and something simple. Obviously not everybody likes all the modern new stuff that most of the competition is going to have these days. This truck is just simple. There's really nothing all too fancy about it. I wouldn't mind having the screen a little bit more up to date like we've seen on other modern Nissans. This is definitely kind of odd how they've given you a big screen, but pretty much you're only using half of the screen. There's not really anything that pops up on that side that's worth looking at. So that's just a little complaint I have. I don't mind the center. I think it looks good with the old school and the new school touch. So overall, you know, it's a good truck to drive, just a simple vehicle, really can't complain. And then once again, just kind of doing a 3-point turn. That's when you're going to notice that the steering could be sharper. Like, I feel like I'm trying to turn it sharper and then it'll stop. But again, overall, the truck has a lot to offer, just a lot of simple aspects to it, and wouldn't mind a tighter turning circle. That's probably the only complaint with it. If you want an old school truck though, that just drives like a nice mid-sized truck, this is kind of the best way to go.